Okay, Mark, you get to say the first question out to us. Paul and I each have to yell out. We only have 10 seconds. If neither of us yell out an answer in 10 seconds, Mark gets to pick which of the answers we have to actually debate, even if we don't believe it. If I answer it and Paul doesn't, I get to choose Paul's answer. But we only have 10 seconds to do it.
All right, so are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay, so question 1. What is the most influential movie in recent memory?
Lord of the Rings.
Avatar.
Okay. All right, so Don yelled out first.
I'll let Paul go first.
Okay. All right, so you can start your argument for Avatar now.
Avatar was one of those movies that James Cameron couldn't make because he wanted to wait for the technology to be available to him. He actually waited, I think, close to a decade before he decided to make this movie. The cinematography in this movie and the camera effects were beyond compare. And the movie itself reached an audience globally with all the different issues before social justice became a thing. Everybody was enthralled with the topics that meant something to them.
Okay. All right. Don for
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Go.
Lord of the Rings was the culmination of the books, and they brought one of the most epic fantasy stories to life on the big screen. Every character was true to life to the novel. It was groundbreaking at the time. People were lined up to see this. It brought in a trilogy story from start to finish, and they planned each movie accordingly. It was the ultimate fantasy. No other fantasy movie has even come close to matching Lord of the Rings.
All right, and Paul, your rebuttal to Lord of the Rings.
While Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie of all time, it was based on a book. The stories were already written, and yeah, the movie was epic, but the movies did not bring that epicness all by themselves. Avatar was a movie in and of itself, and it had issues of environmentalism, of colonialism, and everybody across the world went into the theater in droves and made it the biggest box office blockbuster in history, above Titanic.
And Don.
Here's the trouble with Avatar. It was a remake of Fern Gully, a cartoon animated movie. It was basically a story of our story. People went and saw this movie not so much for the storyline. In fact, a lot of people hated the story plot. They thought it was like taking away from indigenous people and the native people of North America. They went to see it for the special effects. It was the first 3D movie that was out there. So it wasn't the story that brought it to life like Lord of the Rings. It was the story and the action and the characters.
Okay.
Well, thank you for making a point for me. Yeah, the 3D was great.
Yeah, but it's the only great thing of the movie is the point I made.
All right, so listening to both of their arguments, I actually went into this a little bit biased. I thought I knew who was going to win. I was wrong. So originally I thought that Paul was going to win this because I thought Avatar was fantastic, and I thought Lord of the Rings has sort of been overdone in all of the movies. But the arguments that he presented, I would say, beat out Paul in this particular debate. So I'm going to have to give that one to Don.
That's unfortunate that I only had 30 seconds to call out all the nice things that he said that really didn't mean anything. But you fell for it, so it's okay.
Spoken like a person who lost.
Okay. All right, so question 2?
Question 2.
You ready for question 2?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Who was the best Star Trek captain?
Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, I guess I gotta go Captain Kirk.
Okay, all right. Should be good. So, because I know all of you have asked yourselves this at one time or another. So, Paul, you answered first. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right, great. let's begin.
Jean-Luc Picard helmed The Next Generation, which was the greatest Star Trek series of them all. It was so popular, it beat out the original Star Trek by a long shot, which wasn't popular at the time. It only became kind of like a cult classic. Jean-Luc Picard, his demeanor embodied what the Star Trek Federation is all about. Diplomacy and exploration, not about sexualism like the original Captain Kirk.
Okay. And Don.
Here's what the thing is about the original series of Star Trek. It brought Star Trek and the universe of Star Trek to TV. The Next Generation followed suit, but you have the iconic characters of the original. You have Spock, who's analytical and doesn't have emotion, yet in some of the series he shows emotion, but the Captain Kirk in this there has to rein all those characters in, and he takes control of everything.
Okay. Now remember,
I started going off on the wrong thing.
Remember, we're.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, I'll rebuttal.
All right. So, all right, for Picard and go.
Okay, Jean-Luc Picard had a bunch of different personalities he had to rein in too. It's not about that. It's about what is the Federation in Star Trek all about. It's about exploration, meeting new societies, defeating the foe with diplomacy. Captain Kirk was all about himself, his bravado, his getting the girl. Yeah, that was for a different time. Jean-Luc Picard launched what's his name? Patrick's career.
Patrick?
Okay.
SpongeBob would be jealous.
Drew a blank there.
All right. And Patrick Stewart, by the way.
Yeah, Patrick.
Okay.
We're on first name basis.
Right. And here we go.
So, Captain Picard, he was the swashbuckler of the space age. He liked the women, but he loved his ship. The Enterprise was really his mistress. He protected the ship overall. There are movies and scenes where, everyone, his mind is going, he's being taken over, but it's the love of the Enterprise that actually brings him back. He is the ultimate captain. People don't grow up saying, oh, I wish I was like...
That's it. Now...
the bald guy on Next Generation.
Now...
Should I put my hands up now?
Did you want to tell him why you won?
Because I started wrong.
No.
You didn't say anything about Captain Kirk in your last rebuttal.
You said it all about Picard.
In my last rebuttal?
Yes.
In what you just said, you were talking about Picard.
What do you mean I was talking about Picard?
You didn't say...
I said Captain Kirk was in love with his ship.
You said Captain Picard was in love with his ship.
So I worded it wrong. But my point was right.
So
this is a debate.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So, Don gave it to Paul. All right, so we're 1-1.
So I argued better. I just said the wrong name.
I don't know if you argued better. I think.
Well, he just said I gave it to you, so that means.
Well, I mean, you didn't hurt him at all.
All right, number 2.
All right, so last question. Here we go. This is a yay or nay. Okay, so you're either going to take a for or against approach. So the first person to choose their position gets that position, and the other person takes the opposite.
So basically, the winner will be whoever yells out first.
Pretty much, yeah.
LLDs.
But we'll see. All right, so yay or nay? Should movies be released in theaters and on video at the same time?
Nay.
Yay, I guess.
All right, so you yelled out first for...
I'll let Paul go first.
All right. Oh, go.
So we're going into a new age. Not everybody has $50 to go out and see a movie. And we have digital streaming now. We have big screen TVs in our home. Why can't we watch on our television if that's what we want to do? The only reason they want us to go to the theater is so we could buy their popcorn for $90 a bucket. I have a big screen TV and digital streaming. Why can't I pay $10 to watch it at home if I want to?
There's nothing better than digital screaming.
Okay, Don, and go.
Here's the problem with digital streaming. You're streaming it for a small screen and small speakers, and movies that I want to see the epic Star Warses. I want to see Lord of the Rings. I want to see it on the big screen. I want to be around with the reactions of people around me. It's part of the enjoyment of the movies themselves. If they start making movies for the small screen, they're going to cut back on the production values. You're going to get less of a movie because they're going to get less money. And so I don't want that. I want the big screen productions.
Okay, there you go. And your rebuttal, Paul?
Well, the question was, should they be released on both platforms at the same time? I should have a choice. If Don wants to go see it on the big screen, that's for him to do. If I want to stay in my own private living room instead of sitting next to strangers who might be talking or be on their phone, I think I should have the right to do that. I'll pay the same price for the convenience. And if more people are watching stuff on their TV, they're going to put the budget into TV movies. Right now, they know that they're going to make a lot of money because we're held captive by the cinemas.
Oh, there we go. And your final rebuttal.
Streaming services are not the same as seeing it in the theater. And one of the reasons is you say that they're going to put in as much money as they would anyway. No, they won't. They will cut back because streaming services can't charge full prices for everything. They would release it to the Disney streaming or Netflix or Hulu. It's not going to be the same production value. We're going to start losing money. You're going to see a lot of mediocre movies coming out like we see on Netflix right now. How many people are talking about that epic movie on Netflix?
Okay. All right. So I think you both did very well in the arguments. However, I'm going to say that Paul's arguments were probably stronger for this. And I disagree with him. I
think Paul disagrees with his own argument.
I don't think that movies should be released on the same platform at the same time, but I think Paul's arguments for it were compelling.
He had one argument.
And it was a good one.
But you kept on rebuttaling that argument, so I was able to keep talking about it.
But your only argument was my convenience.
No, well, he said convenience. He said that he's not going to have other people around him that are going to be distracting, which when I go to the movies, yeah, there's going to be distracting people around me. Usually it's you. And then there's the fact that, yeah, okay, sure, he's paying the same price, but he gets a choice whether he wants to go see it on the big screen or whether he wants to stay home.
I said he's not paying the same price because he probably wouldn't. But either way, you're the judge. Doesn't matter.
That means... Really,
but we all agree
I win.
He was wrong. Much like his debating skills, his judging skills are something to be desired.
Spoken like a guy who just lost.
I think that you would probably agree with me.
The trouble is, you don't think.
What a sore loser.
See you next time.